welcome to your Wellness Wednesday edition of Afternoon Express. I'm Balisa Tembe, and today it's all about making sure our minds and our bodies are ready to take on that crisp winter weather. Whilst, of course, we gear up for a world post-lockdown, we're also about to kick off the show with the vivacious Denis Simba. But first and foremost, we love hearing from you on social media. So we're about to go through a fun fitness routine a little later, and we thought this is the perfect topic. What is your get up and go track when you're working out or in the mood to shake that booty? You know I gotta check with my girls in the kitchen, right? Ladies, what do you like shaking that booty to? What's your get up and go song?
Ek wil huis toe gaan, na mama toe. Die trane rol, die riviere rol. And you too?
Mine is, I know a jam, jam. I know, see, I know a jam, jam.
I wanna jam on me, you know it. Ladies, I'm loving the songs, yes! And I see you also have some fun in the kitchen in terms of cooking.
Yes, today we're making a delicious katsu curry recipe that's going to be coated in some delicious rolled oats with our delicious olive pride oil.
It's so beautiful. I cannot wait to taste it. It's so innovative to coat it with oats. And then I'm going to take rice on a trip to India, and I'm baking a beautiful onion caramelized rice.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Yes.
And if anyone wants to get the ingredients, please go onto our website, join us, let's get cooking.
Yeah.
Today we catch up with the multi-talented actress, singer and presenter Denis Simba. We find out how motherhood has been treating her, as well as some exciting new music she's got planned for her fans. But first, let's take a listen to her talented singing. Denise, girl, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. Hi.
Girl, it's been so long. I mean, the last time we saw you here on Afternoon Express, you were showing us your cooking skills, how to twerk.
Yeah.
But now you have come out with so much more beauty from within you. Okay, so let's detail what you've been up to in the past year. We're more excited than ever to announce that you've got new music coming up, but you've also been doing a lot during lockdown. So how has life transformed for you and changed during lockdown?
Well, first and foremost, I was actually supposed to get married in the month of April. So lockdown happened about 3 to 4 weeks just before we were like finishing off with, you know, plans. And, you know, my husband is from Germany, so he had half of his family coming down. I had friends from the US, friends from the UK coming down. And so it was just like chaos. I mean, it still is, because we still kind of like don't know where we are with it and if we're still going to have a wedding. But that's like one of the big downfalls of lockdown and the experience we've had with that. And as well, I have an 11-month-old daughter now who's going to be turning 1 on the 1st of July. And it looks like we're just going to have a cupcake and a candle and mom and dad, because of course lockdown doesn't allow us to travel or to have family around. I live in Cape Town. Everybody else is in either overseas or in Joburg.
So speaking about your wedding, will it still continue? I mean, how are you going to move forward? And we also need to remember that this is coming from a person who worked as a judge on a very popular wedding show. So I want to find out from you, Denise. Okay, well, one thing that I can mention or want to mention is I'm sure you took quite a lot away from the show. So I want to find out from you one thing that you definitely 100% want at your wedding and one thing that is a big no-no.
Okay. A big no-no at my wedding are any of my guests that are ready to leave sooner than the start. Like, you can't leave till the very end.
Amen.
Till the very end. Like, we need to be toasted drunk and have a little snack afterwards, like at 5 in the morning, if it's possible. But definitely a whole lot of alcohol, a whole lot of food, a whole lot of good music. I've got some very great DJ friends that are going to be there attending the wedding as well. But that's if, you know, we are allowed to have a wedding. if we postpone and get a new date and things like that. So we'll see. We'll see.
It must feel like you must feel like pulling off that wig and throwing it in the air because of the
Honey,
frustration.
I pulled it off many times.
Girl, I'm right there with you, honey, because I would be in tears. But you know what? This could not have happened to someone who is just a ray of sunshine. I don't think anything can get you down. Whenever we see you, you're always smiling, always having a good time and spreading that love. And speaking about the love that you've created, congratulations on your soon-to-be one-year-old baby girl, oh little Nia.
Thank you, Leah. Wow, I can't believe it. I've done it. Like 1 year, it's about 3 weeks away.
That's crazy. So, you know, Denise, please tell us everything about what motherhood has been like so far.
It's been a up and down experience, but one to be very grateful for because it's such a learning experience. It's very hard work and like solid commitment that you need to abide by. But the rewards, I cannot explain it. And I'm sure a lot of mothers always say this, that the rewards are just, you can't even put them into words. She is like changed my life drastically. Yeah, a lot of lessons in being a mother, patience, gratitude, realizing that you have so much stamina and so much power as a human being to go through such a huge transition that your body goes through mentally, physically, emotionally, and to come out on the other side with an entire human being. I mean, that's just like incredible. You can't fathom it. Yeah, honey.
Can I tell you, she's going to be like mommy. She's an actress already. She knows exactly when the TV is on, and she knows when she's being spoken about, and she shows up right on cue. And speaking about showing up on cue and knowing her 3, 2, 1 and action, does she mind making her TV debut on Afternoon Express? Pretty please, can we meet her?
We didn't like plan a little moment, Leah.
Oh, I love that you're bringing her to us. I know that she just woke up after a nap, so she's probably feeling a little groggy. But
let's see. Hopefully she won't like throw a tantrum. She's already got me smiling. We didn't dress up for the pod, Dookie. She's still got some milky. Papa just gave us some
baby.
Say hi.
Say hello to Auntie Bali. Hi, Mama. I hear that you are the happiest, most beautiful little girl that's turning 1 year old in 3 weeks.
Yeah, she is 1 year soon, Dookie. Yay!
What is your favorite thing about motherhood?
The joys. When you hear your baby laugh the way that she does, it's just like, there's nothing like it. Like when she is the happiest, the healthiest. Yeah.
Oh, shame. And I can see that you have this beautiful synergy working side by side with hubby. That partnership is definitely iconic. When you're working, hubby takes over and vice versa.
Welcome to motherhood, everybody. Say bye. Come, go to Papa, go to Papa.
This is brilliant. Oh, no, this is magical TV moments right here. You couldn't have scripted this.
That's what happens. And we're back.
The joys, the ups, the downs, the roller coaster rides of it all, honey. She was just like, Mommy, what's an interview? What's a camera? I got your camera right here, girl.
Who's this pretty lady? What's going on here? What's all these wires? Life is good.
Oh, Denise, I want to touch on your career, though. I mean, your TV career has grown in leaps and bounds since you joined the entertainment industry. So please share this journey with us.
I did. I mean, when I finished studying musical theater, I just knew that I needed to be on stage. So just the build-up of it was very, very like tedious. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of sacrifice. I mean, my parents couldn't understand it. I'm like last born of 4 kids. I'm a girl. At the time, I was living in Centurion, but all my work was in Johannesburg. I drove a little small black Golf. And as you know, our entertainment industry is alive in the nighttime. And my parents couldn't fathom the hustle of nightlife. And I remember it caused so much conflict at home that at some point I was just like, if you're not going to let me do this, I'm just going to like do it on my own, which I did. But the grace of God, they came around And yeah, Fly Chicks came, then the opportunity to do a reality show with Fly Chicks came, then presenting, then Generations acting. It was just, from then on, it was just like, go, 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 go. I mean, there was a lot of sacrifices. It was tough, but we managed. Now I'm here, and I'm a mom. Wow.
A lot of South Africans find themselves in that position right now with COVID-19 wreaking havoc on our finances,
yeah.
our economy, and our health, you know, the paranoia and our psychology. So a lot of people find themselves with no support, no help, just like you did back then. What do you have to say to them in terms of words of encouragement, love, support, advice even, to help them see another day?
Well, one, I can vouch and just say we need to, you know, put our faith and trust in government and trust that they will implement whatever needs to be implemented to kind of hold our economy and structure together. I know a lot of households are now sitting with unemployment. I mean, the best we can do is, you know, help where we can, also as individuals, and support family and friends. And like I said, trust in the government in the process, and understand that everything happens for a reason, and it's easier said than done, because the unfortunate thing is that a lot of people are losing their lives as well. So there's huge adjustments that are happening, but prayer is everything. Keeping your faith and spiritual, you know, beliefs intact, support system, and supporting each other. That's kind of the best. This is the best advice I can give. I mean, I'm going through it myself. I've just been blessed, again, to have a good support system, but it's not easy for anybody.
Let's get back to your very first thing that you fell in love with in the entertainment industry, which is music. So what can your fans expect from you moving forward in terms of your new music?
So I've been meaning to drop my album for the longest time. My first introduction to the industry was music, but then it fell into dance and acting and presenting. And now I just feel like I need to go back to what I really, really, really was striving to be a part of, and that's the music industry. So album will be coming hopefully soon this year. Just depends on where we are with lockdown. But yeah, you can expect a lot from our music. A lot of truth, a lot of experience. I'm very much a storyteller in my music. So, but it's all fun and playful, and yeah, I'm just very excited. Like, a lot of my truth and my feelings are gonna be like splashed all over the album. So for now, we've got one single that's gonna be coming out. I just released a little video from a soft TV. And that was from my EP. It was the song title was called Be Myself. But we're working on a single right now that we might release sooner than later. But we kind of have to work it day by day, yes, hour by hour. As you know, the pandemic has kind of got us all tied up. So yeah.
Indeed, Denise, the pandemic's got us locked up. They won't let us out. But it's all for our good. It's all for our benefit. Thank you so much, Denise, for sharing your home with us. Thank you for sharing your family with us. South Africa, that is Denis Simba. She's traveled the world, been through hell and back, but she is proof that, of course, it's not about the destination, but it's what you achieve through the journey. Thank you, Siswan.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Good luck with everything. See you guys soon.
See you soon, my love. Bye. Mwah.
Ciao.
Connect with us on social media if you find light at the end of the tunnel, just like Denise did.
You know, Anal, I'm such a huge fan of Denis Simba, and seeing her daughter, I have now found my daughter-in-law, so I need to connect with her and make sure we start arranging this wedding, this marriage now.
Well, I want to be at that wedding as well.
Yes. So
I just think she's amazing. You know, she's worked so hard to get where she is.
She deserves everything that's coming her way, actually.
Ali, what does the viewers say?
Ladies, you know, speaking about Denis Simba and proud working South African females, let's keep it local is lekker here on social media. I've asked you, what is your get up and go exercise or dance routine song that you just love playing? So we have Mona Lisa, and Mona Lisa says, I love you, ladies. We love you too. Play me Shoma Josie Huku. I'll shake it. Hashtag Afternoon Express. Asimdlalele. Huku Nambia. Huku Nambia. Huku Nambia. Mona Lisa, I hope that that was us playing it for you and that truly helped. Let's keep the comments going, though. Our lives have shifted indoors, and we're slowly readapting to the outside world while safely remains at the forefront of our minds. So, coming up, we have our favorite expert, Dr. Nokanya Kanyile. She's about to call in about post-lockdown mental health. Very important. As some countries ease coronavirus restrictions, there is another emerging mental health phenomenon: anxiety about life after lockdown. We chat to Dr. Nokanya Kanyile to shed some light on the issue. Welcome back to the show, Doc.
Hi, Afternoon Express. Hey, Bali, how are you?
I'm good, girl. You know, everyone has their days, and this is exactly what we want to kind of touch on today. Doctor, a lot of us have gotten used to staying at home with close friends and family, being isolated and social distancing. Now, how will somebody with existing anxiety be able to get used to everything all over again when lockdown opens up?
So this is very important, and it's such a great question because that will depend on what your life could potentially look like after lockdown. So what I mean by that is if you were working before, working from home, I think it'll be a little bit of a breather for you. It might even be a relief to actually get out of the house and get back into the swing of being in the office. But if you were like a lot of South Africans and struggling to find work and having to look out for some opportunities again, it might be a little bit more stressful because you're realizing that so many people are in a similar position. So it's important to, number one, try and think about now, before we get to the end of lockdown, what your plans are going to be. Write those things down and make a list, because it's important to have a goal and have some kind of idea about what you're going to do to minimize your anxiety. When you have a little bit more information, you know, those fears kind of kind of minimize, and you'll be able to have a better outlook on the future.
Many people are concerned about whether their leaders might be lifting lockdown too early. To help reintegrate people into post-pandemic world, there needs to be clear communication from our leaders saying that it's okay now to hug people. It's okay to go to restaurants. So what is the right way to implement this without creating a stir?
I think what a lot of people don't understand about lifting of the regulations is that we're not lifting it because Corona is improving. We're lifting the lockdown because our government is better prepared for the consequences of people catching coronavirus and becoming ill. So what you must know is that at some point you may potentially be exposed to someone with coronavirus, but our government has listed a lot of plans that have been in place in order to make sure that they deal with the consequences. What I can hope that the government is going to do is make us very aware of what those plans are, where people can get help, and clearly communicate what people need to do if we need to go back into lockdown or if we're going to be able to be free and have a level 0 lockdown in effect. I think our government is doing a great job already, especially with communication towards the public, but I would like some more clear guidance from a medical point of view as to what is expected of me, and also with regards to people having to quarantine and isolate. How are we going to make sure that those people are able to not lose their jobs, have job security, and be definitely in a better place during this post-corona period?
Communication is key. The trauma, like the virus, will not simply disappear. For some, it will continue to linger in our memories, daydreams, and nightmares. What can we expect, and what measures can we take?
So it's important to understand that post the lockdown, there's so many different things that people will be exposed to, not just in your financial lives, but also just getting back into the swing of getting into your life. So you can expect a lot of overwhelming feelings that could come from, being anxious, being nervous about getting back into the world, but also an excitement about seeing people again, getting back to seeing your friends and your family, and even young children getting back to seeing their friends at school, getting into the swing of things again. It's important to just realize that you are overwhelmed, and it's okay. Take it one day at a time, one experience at a time, and try as much as you can to share your experiences with the people around you, because you'll actually find that a lot of people have similar experiences to you, and that'll make it a lot easier for you to go through whatever you're going through without feeling like you're alone.
Yeah, you touched on children, but quarantined parents could inflict long-lasting psychological trauma and seem to develop a wide range of symptoms such as insomnia, stress, anxiety. I mean, the list definitely goes on. So what advice do you have for parents who will need to conform into a new way of living?
Sure. Thank you so much for asking that question, Bali, because I feel like a lot of parents feel that they're responsible and they have to take care of their kids, but they feel so burdened because they themselves could be going even through a situation of where they're burnt out. For those parents, I think it's important, number one, to have a schedule with your kids, not just post-lockdown, but even now. Make sure that everyone wakes up and goes to sleep at the same time, and have some kind of schedule that involves work time, playtime, but also family time. That gives you as a parent the time that you need to work, and if you're lucky enough to have another parent, you can even alternate so that you guys will be able to share the responsibilities. If you're alone and you're all in one space, talk to your kids, communicate to them that mommy or daddy needs to work, I'm unable to play with you right now, but then provide some kind of space where they can play drawings, give them a fun program to watch, give them a game that they can play outside. If there's other neighbors as well, they might be able to play with those neighbors, making sure and teaching them social distancing and good hygiene practices. And you'll actually find kids are a lot more understanding than we give them credit for.
And on that note of self-distancing and isolation, this may be extended even after lockdown has ended. Without appropriate human contact, many people may be at risk of prolonged grief disorder and complicated grief. So how can these individuals be able to overcome this?
Sure, and complicated grief is such an important topic that people don't really address, because they think they're alone and they don't understand that, grieving moves through different stages. What you can do is to address this is educate yourself around it, read about the 5 different stages of grief that you move all the way through to acceptance. And one of the things I always tell people is don't rush the process. I think it's important that you experience what's happening at that moment, and even if it means you move forward and backwards through various stages until you get to the point where you accept what's happening to you, that's completely okay, and you should be given the space in your spirits to do that and move through that. The other thing about grief is that a lot of people don't share what they're feeling, and so it's important that you need to talk to the people around you and share your emotions, share your thoughts, because a lot of them, especially people who are prone to mental illness, can let those feelings become overwhelming and actually can become more detrimental. So thank you for asking that question, Bali.
Wow, and what an eloquent answer. I hope everyone at home took note. Now, what are some of the tremendous after effects with children and spouses under lockdown with alcoholics, drug addicts, and violent family members?
So, I mean, you have the added dimension. Already so many families are stuck in the same place. There's a lot of tension. People are fighting about small things. But now you add the element of substances and also domestic or gender-based violence. And I think it's important for people to understand that, number one, in no way is that anyone's fault. It is not right, and you have not done anything to deserve that punishment or whatever it is that they call it in order to implement that kind of action on you. Secondly, if you're in a place where your life is at risk, please do not be ashamed to get out of that position. You're not weak. You're not a person who can't deal with their problems. You're actually in a dangerous place and you need to get help. So please reach out to a family member, a friend, or even your local police or hospital service so that we can get you the help you need, but also that we can make sure that you are safe, because substance use is, it's been minimized because of all of the restrictions that have been placed on the lockdown. But as we go back into post-lockdown era, things could go back to normal, and people may have not done the work that they needed to do now to get over that. So please keep yourself safe.
Yeah, and here on Afternoon Express, we keep bringing up these issues. So if you are experiencing some of these injustices and abuse, please head over to our website and find the help that you so desperately need. Moving on, Doc, what are some of the moral injustices from healthcare workers being asked to reuse protective equipment whilst knowing it can harm them?
Oh gosh, Bali, I can talk about this the whole day, but I think one of the things that we are used to, and it's not a good thing in the government sector, is that we're used to a lack of resources. So we've become very innovative in the way that we maximize our use of those resources. Having said that, it is a bit frustrating because, when you wear the same mask the whole day, you have to store it, and then when you eat, you have to put the same mask back on. It's quite uncomfortable, but at the same time, as healthcare professionals, we understand why we have to do it. It's not the best option. It's not the one we would choose. And if we could, we would just try and buy our own supplies. But of course, that gets too expensive. So we just urge people to please donate to the Solidarity Fund. If you can, speak to hospital CEOs and ask them how you can contribute, because really it does help us to have a fresh mask every day, and every time we have a different meal. It's so much of a relief when we don't have to wear the same mask.
Hi, Bo, these are some of the things we overlook. Everybody at home, a little bit goes a long way. Donate to the Solidarity Fund and help out the many proud doctors like our Dr. Kanyile, who keeps helping. Siyabonga sisine. Thank you for all the hard work that you do. We appreciate you stopping by.
Naming Bongile, and thank you to everyone. You guys are on the front lines. We are the last line of defense. So if you stay safe, wear a mask, socially distance, wash or sanitize your hands, you guys are going to keep us protected. So thank you, South Africa.
And on that note, cheers, Doc.
Bye.
Although we don't know exactly when, at some point in the future, self-isolation will end and many of us will return to offices, restaurants and churches. We will return to a new normal, and each of us will have repair work to do as we re-enter the world of physical proximity to co-workers and reconnecting with friends. Thanks to Dr. Kanyile for joining our discussion this afternoon.
Yes, I repair myself every day. I go for a cycle.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I go for about a 30K cycle every day, and I replenish from the inside and get rid of the anxiety.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I've recently started meditating. I never used to do it before, but it actually is such a calming, and it allows you to relax and let the stress out and let the good stuff in. You, Bali?
Hi, guys, speak about keeping things very energetic. Anela, I quite like that. I like dancing myself, personally. So I've asked everyone on social media, what's their get up and go dancing track? I've got someone here, Utandeka, who gave me a full on list. Love it all. Utandega says, #Afternoon Express. My favorite songs are Black Diamond, Love Letter, Love It to My Girl. We also have New Edition, Candy Girl. She loves some 80s songs. Manu World Star, Rent, again keeping it South African. And then she ends off here by saying Beyonce's Brown Skin Girl. Now, I love Beyonce too, but you know what song I like from Beyonce?
Which one?
Who Run the World?
Girls.
That's what I love.
Girls.
Girls. Now, talking about us, let me catch my breath. Now, if we haven't been feeling it before, then we're certainly feeling the chill today, Mzansi. The winter months bring with them colds and flu. So coming up, we chat to Dr. Darren Green about what we can do if we get sick. Winter is officially here, and so is the flu season. And whereas for some, recovery may take a few days, for others it may take weeks, depending on the severity of infection and strength of your immune system. We chat to Dr. Darren Green on what exactly we should do when sick with the flu for a healthy recovery. Welcome back to The Locked, Doctor.
Thank you so much. Good to be with you.
Now, Doc, firstly, what is the difference between the flu and the common cold?
Yeah, I think people need to understand that flu, as we refer to it, refers to an infection of the body caused by a virus called the influenza virus, whereas the common cold refers to a collection of mild symptoms starting from an itchy or scratchy nose all the way through to tearing eyes, basically, and a little bit of rhinitis, which means obviously your nose is running. Just mild symptoms of irritation of the upper airway. Compared to flu, which is caused by that virus, which I've mentioned, which leads to systemic manifestations. In other words, it affects many systems in your body, including the muscles. So body pain and just feeling really, really rotten is always part of that, including things like fever that goes up and down. And then obviously associated with that, sometimes the cough and associated sore throat and headache.
Well, doctor, do you mind listing maybe some of the other first signs that may indicate we're getting sick?
For sure. One of the big things we find first is people have a change in their normal biorhythms. In other words, you just feel that things are not in sync. The first thing that normally can go is your energy levels feel different. You might be doing less work or less strenuous work, but you're just feeling a little bit flat, like you've lost your get up and go. So often that's the first thing, that the balance has been disturbed. And then obviously following up from that, you get a lack of sleep and loss of those rejuvenating functions because of the infection. And then early signs of influenza would include things like headache and fever, which are very important, especially in these times right now.
So how contagious is the flu? Should we be staying at home, resting in bed until we're fully recovered?
Yes, so it is contagious. And how's it spread? It's spread by your body secretions, particularly saliva. And that's obviously why the public have been so well educated right now regarding droplet spread with corona around being spread in a similar fashion, that we obviously quite geared with hand washing and not sharing utensils, and obviously coughing and sneezing etiquette and proximity to other people, etc. So that's how you would obviously curb spreading it. And that's why, of course, it's very important to understand the overlap of symptoms between corona and influenza, and that it's our responsibility, if we start showing symptoms of fever, headache and cough, etc., to actually get tested for corona, so you know what your status is in terms of then being able to apply the self-isolation and quarantine rules that apply to us in our community.
Speaking about taking responsibility, what are some of the must-dos and don'ts if we find ourselves caught with the flu and want a speedy recovery?
Great. So once you've been tested and made sure that you don't have corona and that it's normal influenza, what you can do is eat wisely so that you actually assist and support your body in fighting the infection. That would include particularly enough hydration and fluids, and then of course enough vitamins and minerals from eating enough vegetables. People love chicken soup as well, obviously. And then of course controlling the environment in terms of your hygiene, as I've mentioned already. Remember too that sleep and rest contributes more than almost anything else to your quick recovery from the general flu. And then know the signs and symptoms of the complications of flu, and particularly here worsening headaches that you can't control, things like, for example, visual disturbance where your vision is affected, and then coughing that becomes progressively worse with associated shortness of breath, means that you should be evaluated and seen by your GP for further testing.
Okay, so at that point is when we decide to dial up a doctor just like yourself and seek help.
Correct. So initially with symptoms, exclude corona. And then if it's just normal flu, you treat symptomatically. If you have a sore throat, treat the sore throat with a lozenge. If you have a runny nose, for example, you can take some symptomatic medication that helps with a runny nose. And then, of course, headaches. You can take simple analgesia that can help with things like headaches. And when you have an insufficient response to those things, you would then definitely upskill your evaluation by a trained medical professional.
Thank you so much for that advice, Dr. Green. We appreciate it.
Fantastic. Look after yourself.
We'll definitely be doing so. Cheers. Now, with the immune system playing such a vital role, it's important we take the right steps in maintaining a healthy and strong immune system to give it the care it needs this winter. Immuenza assists in maintaining a healthy immune system, whilst Corenza Parisi relieves cold and flu symptoms. Looking for immune support and relief from colds and flu symptoms? Immuenza and Corenza Parisi, your winter cold and flu companions.
My winter cold and flu companion is peppers, sweet peppers. The variety, the color, the green, the yellow and the red. Loads of vitamin C.
You are correct.
Yes.
Makes so much sense.
Yes.
Because there's so much vitamin C and they taste good. So I fully agree with you. Palisa, I know that's on my menu. What's on your menu that keeps you, your companion?
Guys, for me, there's nothing on my menu. I'm going to eat exactly what you guys are making. The only thing I'm concerning myself with is what's happening on social media in terms of the good times, you know? The dancing songs that we have. You know, we've got so many fun comments that keep going on and on and on. We've got someone called Calvin. And Calvin would say, let me just tell you guys what Calvin said. Calvin said that he loves some South African songs, you know, songs that gets him moving and grooving. A lot of people said Sierra. A lot of people have also said, you know, Ami Faku. I love Ami Faku too as well.
Sounds interesting.
Sounds very interesting. Do you know what else is interesting, though? A great way to stave off the illness is through exercise. So we have a fun way to exercise by dancing. Coming up, we shake our booties and work out with, and shake the sweat off, rather, with Ayanda Kahla from Ubumbo Fitness. And You need to get your living rooms ready for that. While staying at home was aimed at flattening the curve, lockdown regulations had many people concerned that the curve around their waist was the real thing that needed flattening. AK Fitness, a division of the NGO Ubumbo, decided to start free online fitness classes via Facebook and Instagram Live to help those who were feeling a little demotivated during this time. Fitness instructor Ayanda Kahla joins us now to tell us more. Welcome to The Loft, Ayanda.
Hello, everyone.
Now, Ayanda, what started off as a handful of people joining your workout sessions has now turned into hundreds, including the likes of award-winning actor Warren Masemola and well-known rugby players. So how did this idea come about?
We're just chilling with the guys, and then we're discussing about this COVID-19 lockdown, and then I came to them, and then I advised them that I can do these sessions with them, and then obviously it was going to be only Ubuntu guys, and then other people invited other people, and then it ended up being a big thing.
Now, how can people remain fit and healthy at home if they don't necessarily have any gym equipment? I know I don't have gym equipment or a membership, honey. I'm trying to save my money.
Right. You know, the only thing that you need, especially when you're at home, is your body. Your body can do a lot of things. The things that you don't only do in the gym with weights. So only your body weight can do a lot of things, a lot of movements, and then you can achieve a lot only with your body weight.
What are the most important things to remember when working out at home?
The most important thing is discipline, just because you don't get people that are going to motivate you like in the gym. So you are on your own, so you need to discipline and tell yourself that you are going to do this. So that's the most important part. You must be disciplined, and then at least you must have that desire to do more, challenge yourself over and over again.
Yes, challenge yourself. Ask yourself, do you have what it takes to be strong and put this body in tip-top shape? If your answer is yes, along with the rest of us here on Afternoon Express, stand up, move those couches aside. As you have seen, I've turned our little lounge here into a workout space. So I love the fact that you can join us in at home and send those workout videos to Afternoon Express using that hashtag. And let's get moving, South Africa. Okay, Ayanda, I am so ready for action. Let's go through the first workout. And at the end of our workouts, we're going to put this entire choreography together and really get the blood pumping.
Now, this, we are going to have fun. We are going to have fun. I promise you guys we're going to have fun. And the most important thing about this is you must open your legs, shoulder width apart, then slightly bend your knees, and then you start moving to the side. Start moving to the side. Then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now your fist here, close to your chin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you are going to punch straight. Punch straight. Your whole arm must be straight when you punch. I don't want you to bend. Your whole arm must be straight. Straight. Remember to slowly bend your knees. Move up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After that, you're going to do an uppercut. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After that, you're going to lift your knees.
Okay.
Knees. Then lift your knees. 1, 2. There we go. 3.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling the burn here. I hope everyone at home is joining.
Just move your body. I want you to do some sexiness there.
Okay, I can do that.
Like this. But now when we are going to combine this thing, when we combine it, we are going to count in 4s. This is how it's going to look.
Okay.
I'm going to show you. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Uppercut. 1, 2, 3. Lift your knees. Go 1, 2, 3. Then you go down twice. It's 1 and 2. Let's
Hey!
1, 2, 3, 4. Uppercut. 1, 2, 3,
4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was so much fun. Okay, Ayanda, let's just get a hold of our breaths right now, South Africa. If your blood is pumping like mine and you're having such a great time as we are working out side by side with Ayanda, I hope you are taking videos, I hope you are taking selfies, and I hope that you're sharing it along with us here on our Afternoon Express social media pages. So, Ayanda, I want us to do it one more time. I want us to put this combination one more time. If you haven't joined us and you think, I kind of got it, I kind of got the moves, here's your last chance to join. Ayanda, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let's hit it.
It's important to play some music so that you can get that motivation.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, so we're going to get some music going.
3, 2, 1. Then we start 4 times. 1, 2, 3. Uppercut 4 times. 1, 2, 3. Lift 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2. Let's do it for the last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uppercut. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2.
Woohoo! Bravo, thank you so much, Ayanda Kahla, bringing in the heat here. It might be getting cold around South Africa as the winter creeps in and the flu seasons creep in too. But let's boost our immune systems. Let's get the energy all the way up and let's feel good, South Africa. Thank you so much, Ayanda. We truly appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Ngeke Ayanda, you definitely got my heart racing there and the blood pumping through my veins. I'm feeling full of energy, and if you feel full of energy or rather want to join in on this health movement, head over to our social media pages and show us you working out and get the entire family involved, South Africa, because when we feel good, we can do good. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express.
And now I can't think of another way to work up an appetite. I'm ready for this now.
Are we going to have energy to cook tonight?
If not energy, then we'll definitely have the appetite for it.
I saw that. That was so much fun. You know, South Africa, I hope you did join us. Don't worry, I'll be scouring social media to see who did get stuck in with Ayanda. We also asked you, what song do you like working out to? And we've got Sasha, and Sasha says that she loves working out too. I enjoy playing Ariana Grande featuring Lady Gaga, Rain on Me. Now, I don't know that song, so thank you for educating me, Sasha, on that. Something else I need education on, though, however, is all things in the kitchen whilst I get something to drink. Well, ladies, what are we cooking?
Today, now that we've worked up the appetite, we are making a delicious katsu curry that's going to be breaded with some delicious oats, fried up with our delicious olive pride oil. Just a whole lot of deliciousness.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss this one.
Juicy.
Hi, South Africa, you heard it from Chef Jumi and Chef Anele. Coming up, we're making some magic in the kitchen.
Yes.
Express yourself.
Olive Pride brings a touch of pride and the natural beauty of olive oil to your table. Made with love by Clover.
Express yourself.
Olive Pride brings a touch of pride and the natural beauty of olive oil to your table. Made with love by Clover.
Whew, and welcome back, South Africa. We are out of breath, but we are still high on that appetite. We need some food.
We need food now.
So let's get
Let's
cooking.
get started. Yeah. I've already started.
I see you were too hungry to wait.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with our recipe. We are making that katsu curry that we mentioned. And what a katsu curry basically is that the chicken is breaded in panko crumbs and then fried. We're putting a spin on it because you know how we do. And we're actually going to crumb our chicken in some oats and some
that's
delicious
clever.
spices and flavors. Obviously, it's going to be, it's not going to be the same texture, but it's still going to have that crunchiness from the oats itself. So to start it off, I'm going to go in with my oats as well as the spices. What I've got here is some turmeric, some garam masala, and then I've also got some salt and pepper to be just the breading part, the dry ingredients. So let me just
I think
stir
it's such
that
a clever
together.
thing and it looks so beautiful. I can just taste that crumb on the outside. And we're actually marrying Japanese cuisine. That's a katsu. And remember, viewers, it's not katsu. You're not suing the cat away. Die kat is nog nie die kat weg nie. It's katsu. It's a Japanese word.
Thank you for clearing
marrying
that.
it out with Indian cuisine. Yes.
Thank you for clearing that up for anyone that was confused. So once we've done the dry ingredients, we're going to go in with the wet, which will be our eggs, because we're going to bread it. So we need something that's going to let that breading stick to the chicken, and we're using our eggs that I've just whisked or scrambled with our fork.
So the Japanese normally use panko crumbs.
Yes. But we're going to be using our oats here, and I'm also just getting the sauce started for the chicken as well. So let me just first get this chicken in the oven, and then I'll carry on with everything else. So we first put it in the egg first. All the seasoning is in here. We've made sure to put all our salt and pepper in here so that we don't have to put any additional seasoning afterwards. And then after that, I just coat it and make sure every single part is covered in this deliciousness.
And then you're just going to bake it.
I'm going to bake it. Yes, we
Yes.
normally fry, but I'm going to bake it because we're also trying to stay healthy, you know? Like the
Yes.
doctor said, we need to try and make sure that everything we put in our bodies actually helps us fight all the flus and all these symptoms that we have. So let me put
And
this...
Sims, I'm going to take the rice and I'm making a beautiful fluffy rice, but I'm going to add I fried some onions, crispy, and I've got some turmeric, and it's very good turmeric as well for your immune system. And I'm going to add some rice and some coriander to this one. And it will go beautifully with your chicken.
Thank you so much. Actually, here's a piece of chicken. I think you can get ready with dishing up or you'll get that dishing up for later. So I'm going to get started with the sauce. Let me put these aside. And for our sauce, I've got here some onions and some carrots that I've already sauteed with our delicious olive pride. And obviously, olive pride's flavor is very nice and mellow. So not too overpowering, so it's going to work perfectly with all these other ingredients here. We go in with our curry powder, garam masala, like I mentioned. Curry.
It's perfect for tonight. It's so cold in this whole country.
Exactly.
It's freezing.
But I'm also struggling to get used to Cape Town weather. If there's one thing, it's like Cape Town, I know you're great, but every time I'm like, I'm used to it. I love it. Cape Town's like, surprise!
Surprise! I'm used to the Free State weather. It's going to be -7 tomorrow, I think.
Oh,
Thank goodness I'm in
real.
Cape Town.
So I'm going to stir that together. And to thicken up our sauce, I've got some flour here.
Yeah.
This is going to help make sure that our sauce sticks to the chicken and that flavor from the spices actually sticks to the chicken as well. It's nice and covered with, like every single part of your chicken will have this sauce, so you won't run out. So let's go in with our stock. So this is what basically makes it nice and runny.
Beautiful. I can smell it and all those flavors, they are marrying together in that pot. It smells amazing.
Amazing.
So I'm carrying on with my rice. I'm going to add some coriander in here, fresh coriander. And then, Pali, my piece de resistance is my egg. So they serve it with this rice as well with an egg, with a boiled egg. So we're using chicken there and chicken here. But the boiled egg you boil, and then you crack it after you've boiled it, and you put it in turmeric water. And when you peel it now, you will see that it's marbled. Look how beautiful that is. Let me quickly do that.
That's amazing. So I'm going to dish up my supper here because, like I said, we worked up that appetite. So
Look at this.
Ladies, have you forgotten about me? I feel like you guys are just cooking away, forgetting that Bali is hungry as well. Ladies, the food looks absolutely delicious. Thank you so much for cooking. It smells so good. Can't wait to dive in and eat. Guys, thank you also for social media. All the comments are so beautiful. Now, it's a jam-packed show, though, with Star Power tomorrow. So tune in and hang out with Tammy Dish, Gavin Raja, and Nina Hastings. Until then, Mzansi, good night, stay safe, and happy eating.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Nada. Feel Good production.